Hey everybody, welcome back. Tack for sist, hvis du er norsk. Thank you for the last time. To those of you that speak Norwegian, hope alt går bra. Hope everything's going good. I wanted to kind of talk about one of my favorite subjects. So I was a science major in college. My degree is zoology. I was pre-med, thought about going to medical school, and then I decided I wanted to teach instead. And then when I graduated, I found out what that paid. And so I started my own business and never really looked back. But one of the things I wish I'd have taken more classes in is space, space travel, the universe, the galaxies. It's such a fascinating thing to me. I did a, a short video on here a couple months ago about Voyager 1, which I think was launched in 1977, 75 to 78, somewhere in there. I think it's 77. And a few months ago, it passed 15 billion miles from Earth. And I mentioned how even going 37,000 miles an hour, which is how fast it's traveling, it will take 40,000 years to get to Alpha Proximus. Should have that on the tip of my tongue. The closest star to us, which I think is something Proximus, Alpha Proximus. Anyway, doesn't matter. 40,000 years traveling at that speed. You know, we get in our cars and we drive, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. And this thing is doing many multiples of that. And space is so enormous. One of the conversations I've heard going around lately is that a lot of scientists are starting to say, well, maybe we are alone in the universe. Maybe we are the only life out there. Which to me, I'm sorry, I'll respect the scientists, and you're probably smarter than I am, but that's a ridiculous statement. The universe is so gigantic that they haven't even explored a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent. So to make a statement like that, I mean, we can't see some of the distant galaxies. We can't see the planets. I mean, they discover new planets and stars and all that kind of stuff all the time, and it's fascinating. In my head, if there are billions or even trillions of galaxies out there, and every galaxy has tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of stars, and every galaxy has trillions of planets, it's just a matter of math. We're the only ones? One in a quintillion chance? I don't believe that. I think there's more life out there. Whether we can ever see them or they can ever see us or reach them because of the depth of space and the enormity of space, I don't know. For those of you that are religious, I say it all the time, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. I believe in God, I just don't know exactly what that means. And that's mine. You believe what you want to believe. I get comments all the time, well, you should blah blah blah. Well, I'm not gonna. I grew up in a very religious household. I served that church for a year and a half overseas. I've been there, done that. I don't need that in my life. I come into my backyard and I see God back here. And it's funny because everything that's back here, I planted. Every single plant, except the grass, and even some of the grass I planted. But I know that's not me making it grow. There's some greater power, whether you want to call it the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. And so being kind of a spiritual person, I just feel some connection to the universe as well. And I think there's way more out there that we don't know about, that we haven't seen, that we may never see. Maybe after this life, maybe we'll see more. Maybe we'll be privy to that knowledge. I don't know. I just find it fascinating. I will sit in my hot tub sometimes at night, and if it's a clear night, I can actually see the satellites going across from north to south overhead here. It's very cool. On really clear nights, you can see several of them. And I look at the stars, but I'll sit in my head and I'll start calculating. It's something I like to do to kind of keep my brain sharp. Light travels, I think it's 185,000 miles per second. If I'm off a little, that's okay. It it's not relevant to the point. So I'll sit there and figure out how far light will travel in 10 seconds, and then 100 seconds, and then an hour, and then in a day, and then in a month, and a year, and 10 years, 100 years. And I'll sit and do that, and it's fascinating, just how far light travels. We're looking up at the night sky, and we see a bright star. You know what's crazy? If you've never thought about it, that star might not even be there. Because let's say it's the closest star to us, 4.4 light years away. That could have blown up 3 years ago, and we wouldn't know it for another year and a half. If it's, thousands or millions of light years away, it could have blown up back when the dinosaurs were alive, and we wouldn't know it because we wouldn't see the light from that explosion yet. And so you start thinking about the vastness of the universe and what they have discovered. I was looking at a meme the other day. I think it was 1921 or 22. The known universe was basically our Milky Way. It was 100,000 light years, which is about how far across the Milky Way is. Now the universe, the known universe, is 93 billion light years away, or across. And you got to be smarter than me to figure out how they're figuring all that out. But that is fascinating. And the universe is expanding, not counting what they're discovering. We can never see the edge of the universe because the universe has been expanding since the Big Bang Theory. And I know if you're religious, you're like, wow, that's a bunch of bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fair enough. But if you believe that science part of it, it just goes on forever. And now there's theories about multiverses and other dimensions. And anyway, I could talk about this forever, but I don't want to bore you. Thanks for watching. If you dig the videos, I'd love a thumbs up. A subscription is really cool. But the coolest part is interaction. I love reading comments. I also have a TikTok account that I don't talk much about on here. It's Norwegian Arld, at Norwegian Arld, A-R-I-L-D. And I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos on there. They're mostly cheesy music video kind of things, but yeah, you might find it interesting. Anyway, it's Friday. I hope you're all having a great day, a great night, a great weekend, a great life. Life is good. Peace, love. Til neste gang, vi snakkes igjen snart. Till next time, we'll talk again soon. Ha det bra. Have it good.